Looks like we needed more time, right, to set everything up.
Yeah.
Looks like we needed more time, right, to set everything up.
Why?
Hey, what was that? Come on.
Yeah, that's why.
Looks like we needed more time, right, to set everything up.
Why?
Hey,
What's going on?
what's going on? What's going on? Let me see.
Yeah, that's why.
Looks like we needed more time, right, to set everything up.
Why? What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? Let me see.
Why is it repeating?
This.
So this is slow.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I muted YouTube. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to turn.
How to go to the YouTube live? How do people like join? Is it very hard this question?
Yeah, wait, let me see. Hey folks, can you hear us? Right. Do we have the link to the YouTube live? Let me see.
Yep, hang on. Let me get that for you.
这个可以吗？这个可以吗？
Okay. That's hard.
That's hard.
Or maybe you tell me what is the.
I'll just send to your.
Yeah, you send to me.
To your
Link.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
I think my Wi-Fi is good.
The Wi-Fi is also a bit
Slow, right?
slow. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Post to.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for your patience. We are finally live and all the issues have been sorted out. Before we go on, just to let you all know that this session is recorded. So if you want to stick around, you've got to be comfortable with that. Welcome to Stranger Conversations. This is a place where we share stories with people who are taking unlikely paths to career and to life. And today we've got Jacinda.
Hi.
Yeah,
Happy to be here. So exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually like seated in her veranda right now. And it's a pretty amazing place. We'll tell you a bit more about that later. So just let everyone know, we've got a couple of co-hosts besides myself, Sean. Maybe just introduce yourselves.
Yep, hey, I'm Grace. Yeah, happy to be here and listen to Jacinda's stories as well. I'll mostly be talking to the folks on Clubhouse. So if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to raise your hand and yeah, we'll be right with you. On to you, Sean.
Hi everyone, my name is Yushan. So I'm also another co-host for today's event. I'll be monitoring the folks on Zoom. So towards the end of the session, if anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, or we'll direct you when it's time to share your thoughts on Zoom, and you can unmute yourself as well. Thank you.
We are Zooming and Clubhouse and YouTube. Okay, now I get it. Sorry.
Yes, we are we're being a bit ambitious here, but
okay, okay.
I guess this is the time to try everything, right?
Try. It's all about trying in.
Okay, so just a little bit about Jacinda. Jacinda runs a vegan catering business and a restaurant, and it's called called
The Breakfast Club.
the Breakfast Club. But actually, you weren't always this way, right? You weren't vegan, some years before, and you weren't a chef either.
Never imagine I will cook. Last time I used to not like cooking at all. And now today I'm doing it for a living. So yeah, you never know. Never say never.
And so to change your life, right, you had to go on this trip, this road trip where you planned to drive from Singapore or Malaysia all the way to Europe.
So Portugal was supposed to be our last stop because that's the end of the land lah. After that it's all sea, right? Yeah. So we're supposed to go from Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, China, Russia, blah blah blah, then into Europe and then all the way down to Portugal. That was the plan lah.
I guess something got in the way.
Yeah. So then while we were already on the way, so while we were traveling, and when we are supposed to enter through China, and then COVID hit lah, Wuhan, like there was the first wave, and then the government closed the borders for all like foreigners. So then we had to rethink like, oh, maybe we change our route and everything, but before we can plan the whole work and already lah. Yeah. So so we decided to stay put here. Yeah, and then we found this house, found this place, and then started this home business. Yeah.
But maybe tell us a bit about the journey itself, and maybe which were the places that you went to. You actually managed to go quite far, right?
Not really. Southeast Asia only lah. So we were in Malaysia and Thailand and Cambodia, bit of Myanmar, but like that's but we spent almost 2 years in Southeast Asia in the van.
2 years?
About there, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, about 2 years, yeah. So like first year was a lot of coming in and going out because we bought the van in Malaysia, and then we had to redo the van, and we had to redo the van, and then we just keep, because visa issue, right? We already got 30 days in Malaysia, so we just have to keep coming in, going out, coming in, going out, yeah, and then just keep fixing it up lah, until we decided, okay, the van is ready to leave and set off for the big trip. So yeah, in Malaysia we visited like mostly, and Thailand and Cambodia we visited mostly like kampongs, yeah, and then so we really experienced, for me lah, because I was born and bred here in Singapore, and so I never ever like really experienced kampong life before, and also like interact with kampong neighbors and all, yeah. So that was like a truly interesting and
Tell it.
So our van broke down, and then it started smoking up, yeah, and then yeah, and then so we were along this like mountain road, like really narrow, and there was even a big hole on that road, like slightly further ahead, like you can literally see under the roads.
Really? Like,
Really,
no
really.
kidding. Like, if
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
go
yeah.
in, you're gonna drop down.
Yeah, drop down. You can even see, but of course they barrier it up lah. But yeah, so that was that. Like there were not many cars that were going past that road. Then we started smoking up now. Then we started to like come down and started like waving at any of the cars that will go past, and then so somebody came to ask us lah, and they cannot speak English and we cannot speak Thai, so it's really like one chicken one duck lah. And then so we were trying to like tell them like, oh, I don't know why, but can you call the workshop for us or whatever. And then this lady, right, she suddenly came down from this like forest hill along the road.
Some forest lady, mountain lady.
Yeah. So she was carrying this like basket on her back, on her shoulder, right? And then she got a lot of mangosteens in the basket. So she started to come to the van, and then she was like telling us about her mangosteens. Of course, we cannot understand her lah. And then we're like, walao, our van smoking up already. You still can sell us fruits like now. So I assume that she just picked mangosteens and want to come out and sell to us lah. And then we're like, then we just like politely like, oh no, thank you. You know, we're like, sorry lah, busy lah, you know. But she just like kept like tapping us like, but I don't know what she said lah, but like mangosteen. And then we're like, no, it's okay, thank you, we don't want it, you know. Then she kept going on, and then we're like, okay, we're just trying to solve this problem now. But she was just at our side, just keep tapping our shoulders and like asking. And then finally she found a plastic bag, and then she took all her mangosteens, put it in a plastic bag, tied up, and then just left it in our van and gestured, it's like, it's for you. And then she walked off. And that was like, oh shit, like anyhow judge people only, because you know, like that was like the very initial part of Thailand, like we just enter. So our impression of Thailand is like Bangkok, right? It's like touristy, people will chop you and charge you for every single thing, right? So then that was our first impression lah. And then when she did that, then we're like, oh, okay, you know. And then so yeah, that's the first thing. And then after that, so this uncle came, and then he called the workshop, and this old uncle, and then he came, and then he called the workshop, and then he got a tow truck here. And so apparently what we learned later is that in the entire village, right, only got that one workshop, that one tiny little workshop. So they don't really have a lot of spare parts and everything also. Yeah, so then he called, and then the guy told us that so we told it to the workshop, and then he told us that, okay, you need to put your van here for like a few days to let them fix. Then we're like, okay, this is our home leh. Then where are we going to stay? You know? So the uncle who helped us call the truck, he followed us like, you know, all the way back to the workshop. And then he was like, he also can't really speak English, but we like try our best to like translate, Google Translate, yeah. And he said like, come to my house. Then we're like, wow, this uncle, you know, my mother say, cannot anyhow go strangers' house. Later kena murdered or robbed or raped. So we're really thinking like, should we? Like, it's so dangerous, you know. But in the end, don't know why we decided, okay, no choice also. He already drove his car. He already went on his car, turned on the engine, like, come, just come, you know. So we're like, it's really like he put us on the spot. It's like, it's a split-second decision. You go now or don't, you know. Then we're like, okay lah. So then we went lah. And so then he brought us to his place, and that place got no like 4G, nothing one. So we bought like a local Thailand SIM card. Right. Yeah, but it doesn't work at all. Like no network at all. Shit. Yeah. So it's like, oh wow, you know. So it's that like telling us stories in Thai, and then we try to like Google Translate everything. But turns out so he started like telling us about fruit. So apparently it's a durian and mangosteen season. Mm-hmm. So the next thing is like, oh, you hungry? He went to climb the tree to pluck mangosteens for us. Yeah. And then started like, you want eggs? I cook eggs for you. And then he just really wanted to take care of us and show us like Thai hospitality, or he just really wanted to help us. You know, started going to his chicken's nest and then like steal their eggs, like while the chicken was sitting on her nest, you know. And like then the neighbor came with durian. So they got it from their own house. And then he was like, this is the last durian of the season, and he gave it to us. Yeah, and so for that few days, right, he just kept taking care of us like this. I mean, we decided to stay at his house because there was no network. Then the workshop guy cannot even contact us now. So we thought like, okay, never mind. Every time you send us back to the workshop, we will stay in the bed. You know, then tomorrow they fix it, then we will come out again. Yeah, so every day he come and pick us. You know, and then on the day we left, he even cried. Like he and his wife. That's when we learned, why you like so passionate and like, you know, how can you show love like that? And they didn't want anything at all. The house was so simple, you know, like you will say, oh, they don't really have anything. It's really like minimalist house. Like you walk in, it's nice and spacious, but it's like nothing much inside. And yeah, and they didn't want any money, or they just really wanted us to like be well. And like, you know, keep telling us like, take care. And then even after we left for Bangkok, because they didn't have any spare parts here, so we had to tow the truck all the way to Bangkok to fix it. And that was like an 8-hour drive or something. Yeah, and he kept calling us every day also after that. Yeah, to check.
Jacinda, Sean.
He kept calling you.
Yeah.
And you,
Just ask lah, like, are you okay? Is your van okay? Blah blah blah. You know. Yeah. Then that's how we very quickly learn Thai also. No
Jacinda,
choice.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah. So I think that was one. That's where for me lah, I crossed that barrier and feel that, oh, you know, love can be shown this way too. Like even if you're strangers, right, you can like pour your heart out and just help and don't want anything in return. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest incident. Like there were many incidents leading to that we experienced that a lot help from the locals, but that was like the biggest one where the switch really clicked for us and realized like, oh, like that also can, because we've never ever experienced it here.
it sounded like there was some difficulty in understanding why he was this way. Or
That time, yes.
yes. And where do you think that difficulty came from?
Because living in Singapore, you know, we live in HDB flats. We keep to ourselves. You know, don't look at people's eyes. Don't anyhow smile at people. You know, that's what we are being told. In general, nobody has that culture where like you walk past strangers and you like greet them and like say hi, or you just exchange looks only, just like smile at each other. It doesn't I've never done that in my entire life. Yeah, so I guess that's why I wasn't like trusting of people that I don't know at all. Yeah, so then generally we just don't trust anybody lah. Even the auntie who came to give us mangosteens. So yeah, it's my problem.
I don't think it's just you. I mean, even me, right? Like if I go overseas, then I'm always just on my guard. I'm not sure if I'm going to get ripped off or scammed or something, right?
You know, in Thailand, we went to a few workshops because like we had like some small issues with the van, right? And like maybe it was like a 1 hour fixing job. At the end of the job, right, they will look at our car plate and they'll be like, and then after that, at the end of it, they will ask them, oh, how much is the fee lah to repair? And then they will tell us, no need to pay, welcome to Thailand. Yeah. And I think about 4 workshops did that. 4 to 5 workshops did that for us. Yeah. So it's amazing. Like you just think that you come until here, you confirm, you know, if they repair for you, they charge you double, so you no choice. What? It's not you don't know how to speak, you don't know where to go. Yeah, but so many did that for us. Yeah. So yeah, we also learned that business also no need to like count every cent one. Right? Like
Hey Sean, hey Jacinda.
you can be generous and show love even with your business. Yeah. So like we learned another lesson also. So it's crazy. Yeah.
You spent 2 years on the road. As far as sabbaticals go, that's pretty intense, isn't it?
When we decided that we want to leave, we already planned to quit and save up, and then we quit and then we go. So no sabbatical.
Yeah, I mean like the 2 years was kind of your sabbatical from something else, right?
Right. Starting from the
So it was the last durian of the season, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, the last year of the season. Okay, I'll just say again. What? Oh yeah, and then the his wife like can speak trouble, like they really just wanted to show us love. And even after when we left, so we had to tow the truck to Bangkok because that's where the bigger workshops are to repair it, right? And then they still continue like checking up on us, like calling us ever so often just to say like, oh, are you okay? Is the van okay? How are you? Yeah. So yeah, so that's when I mentioned that that was the biggest incident that really turn on, like switch on, like had a click within us to make us realize that even if you're strangers, you can help other people passionately. So then I guess from then on we were more willing to help other people. So like to pass on this love also. Yeah.
So I wanted to get back to the point about this 2-year trip.
Yes.
You planned it for 2 years, right?
No, we planned for 1 year.
1 year only. And you extended it for 1 more year.
No, we didn't expect that building the van was so difficult. So, for example, Martin and I, right, our relationship, okay, we've been together for a really long time. Like this is our 16th year or something. Yeah. So you would think, you know each other very well because you're together so long, right? But no. Okay, when you transit into another life, it's different one. So like learning to fix a van up, deciding the layout, deciding on so many things, right, was like a big headache. We were like arguing about it all the time. What material to use, and like what design, L shape or U shape or every, so we a lot of ding dong here and there, like, and so because of that, we took really long to make a decision, and then also we thought like we very 厉害 lah, can use our bare hands to fix so we took out the seats ourselves. So it was a 11-seater or something,
Right.
van, and we took out like every single seat in the back on our own.
So 9 of them, I guess.
Huh?
11 minus 2, so 9 of them.
And yeah, 9, correct. And then we like, remove the rust. We thought watch YouTube, wow, pro, remove the rust, clean everything, and then we thought we can, so that we did ourselves. Then we thought we can build the bed behind ourselves also, because so many YouTubers did it, right? Then like buy some wood lah, knock here, drill there, and everything. And then we were like halfway we doing it, we're like, wow, who we kidding lah? No way it is gonna happen. It'll take forever. First of all, we were never interested in it. Second, we never done. So you see, then take like 1 month, then 1 month, this 1 month. Then after that, we had to look for a carpenter, and then must be cheap, affordable, and blah blah blah. And that took another month, and then to fix it, to build up, to tell him the layout, took another month. So like, and that's how it ended up become 1 year of fixing the van. Yeah. So yeah. And then at the end of 1 year, when we felt like, okay lah, enough already lah, too, and we thought like, okay, we're ready to leave Malaysia and enter Thailand and go on the trip now, for real. Yeah.
So it's like,
also we planned for 1 year, right, to travel from Malaysia to Europe also, but 8 months we were in Southeast Asia. So when we decided to leave, right, leave JB, leave Johor, we spent so many months, maybe like 3 months in or 2 months in Malaysia, like exploring Malaysia also. Because then we started to look, so Martin started to look on Facebook for like van life, what you call it, groups. So we met up with them, make so many friends, and hey, come my house, come, let's go camping together, come this, come that. So we started like going to every part of Malaysia to like, go and hang out with them, and like it's really fun lah. But so it's not like how to say, touch and go lor. So become like we took even longer. And then in Thailand also, we started to look on Facebook, for all these van groups, and then we made friends. And then same lah, Thailand was like, you got to visit here, visit there, and they're bigger, right? They're further, and yeah. So it took even longer. Then after we wanted to go Cambodia because we have friends there. So we wanted to go Cambodia, and then when we were about to enter Cambodia from Thailand, they told us, say, hey, you don't have the document that is necessary to leave Thailand. So by right, you're illegal. Your vehicle is illegal to be in Thailand now.
oh no.
Then we're like, huh? How? Yeah, the only way is you go back to Malaysia and take that document and come back up again. So we're like, what? So we're at the Cambodia-Thai border, and then we think, drive all the way back to Malaysia and then drive all the way back up again. Should we do that? So we started thinking like, then we made friends with somebody who's like a mayor a small mayor of one of the towns in Phuket. So we also met up with him. Then he brought us to this atas restaurant. Oh, yeah, damn cute. And then we decided to call him and say like, see, can like do some special thing.
Oh,
You know,
just to,
like we call say,
smooth your way
for this
through.
document, wow, we didn't know, must take this, you know, is there a way we can apply in Bangkok and then send it to us, or is there some way we can like, you know, tell the people here that yeah, we can kind of get the document through other way lah, no need to drive all the way back. Cannot. Yeah. So then we decided, okay, since fate want us to drive back, then we drive back.
So you went to the Cambodian border, and then you came all the way back to
The
the
Malaysia
Malaysian
border,
and then you went back again.
all the way up again. Then we say hello to the same friends along the same route again. Hi, we're back. Yeah. So yeah, then even longer.
But it sounds like that sort of detour turned out for the better. Was it?
No.
No?
Supposed to stay in Cambodia for a month at my friend's place. In the end, we could only stay for, by the time we make it back, we could only stay for 3 days. And my friends were like, what? You come all the way here and then only can stay 3 days? Yeah, well, so but yeah, maybe it turned out for the better, as in we learn that things don't always work out your way, and just be flexible and don't like harp on it too much. Just drive back lah. Yeah.
Hey, Jacinda.
Yes,
So someone is asking how much did you save up before you actually decided to take the plunge?
Okay, yeah, I know everybody asks us something. So we counted like our expenses, like I really can't remember because it's been like 2 years, right? But I think we counted like every month how much we will spend on our journey. I don't know, like $1,000 each or something like that. So we thought we will travel for 12 months, right? So $1,000 times 12, $12,000 each. We saved up so that we can go. 1,000 lah, I think. Sounds a bit little. Maybe more, yeah, something like that. So that was our strategy because we didn't know if we can find work along the way. Yeah, so we decided to save everything first before we leave. Yeah.
I think that's a wise strategy, right? To save up everything first. Maybe could you take us back to the moment when you were deciding whether to go or not? Tell us, what was going on?
No deciding. I decided. I would say that I was lost. I had no direction in life at that moment when I decided. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do every day. I felt like every day I wake up like no meaning, I just didn't find any meaning in my life. Like, I don't know what am I living for. And so I decided like I need to find it.
Can you say a bit more about what you mean by don't know what you're living for?
Don't know, like it's a feeling like when you wake up, you just feel like, oh, go to work later, okay lor. Not passionate, not happy about like some feel just I would say now in hindsight, I needed to find friends after that, same old, but different. Like I know myself better. So I think back then there was no self-awareness. Or back then I was starting to realize I got no self-awareness. When I wasn't aware that got self-awareness, this kind of thing, right? Then you like happy-go-lucky only, innocent, live life, life like that one lah. No feeling one. Today cry, tomorrow happy, like this, yeah. And then when you start to have an inkling of like self-awareness, you're not really happy, you find out about yourself more, and then that's the beginning of the journey of like, okay, I need to go and do something about it.
Right.
And then I watched some guy on YouTube, and he was traveling on a really old Volkswagen van. And he was from the UK, but he went to Mexico to get a van. And then he decided that his dream is to drive from the end of Mexico to North America, to the northernmost point of America, and I watched how his journey is like. So he's also started in the Mexico area, like South America area, right, where people are generally like more kampong lifestyle and poorer, and his van is like worse than Toyota. That one really break down like one day 2-3 times, and how he's shown us lah how like the villagers just take him to their house and then let them stay, cook for them, and then help them repair the van even. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this is crazy, like so amazing. I want that too. So Martin and I were watching this YouTube series on YouTube, and then after that I was like, hey, I also want to go. I think by the end of season 2, I was like, okay, I want to go. That time I didn't know like, oh, you can live on a van like for 1 year or more. Like, oh, people do that. So it opened my mind like, oh wait, there's another way to travel. Not only just fly a plane, 2 weeks, take leave, then come back. So then I told Martin, yeah, I really want this. And then he said like, yeah, can. Let's do it when we're 65 or like when we retire. I was like, what? No. Nobody know tomorrow I die already not.
It sounds like the two of you are actually quite different.
Very. Yeah, he likes more like security, and he likes adventure, but this is like too much. Too much for him. Of course, then I also understand the pressure at that time as a young man, right? And for men, right, in general, you all have that there is this stigma lah where men need to like build their career as fast as you can, earn enough money so you can afford this, you can buy the house, you can marry, you can, or like you can at least like have some kind of like status lah, like people can look up to you, right? So it was hard for him to like let go of that, and I totally understand. And I don't think it's like his fault. It's really in society, it's like that. And I think lah, for girls is less of that. Yeah. So that I think lah, it's easier. Of course, not all, but then it's easier for some female to maybe just take a break and go, come back. Now, what do you think? I mean, do you think like men usually have this kind of stress?
I think so. I think there's a lot of societal norms, right? Or certain narratives or certain expected things, right? That we should be doing. Yeah. I felt that, was it the case, right? That maybe him being different. So like you're someone who wants to find yourself. You're someone who like is looking for something, right? But there are not that many people like you, right? And so many of the people around you are not like you, right? And so how does that dynamic play out? Does it make it, in some cases, in Martin's case, like was it like easier? Was it like it was harder
initially to convince him to want to do it? I think it took about 2 years to decide that let's go. So that time was really like maybe he just started work kind of, about 2 years, yeah. And so I think every time, during the time when the idea came up and I suggested, and then we took like many like mini trips, right? Every time we take leave, and then that's where we started to rent like camper vans, so can experience a bit lah.
Right, so baby steps.
Baby steps. So in New Zealand we did it, in Japan we did it, in don't know where else, Australia we did it, So then I guess also then we slowly realized like, oh, okay, this works, that works. And I think at the end of the day, then he also realized that 2 years later, you still got this dream, never give up. And then he realized like, if I don't give in, then he cannot, also cannot. Like then, I mean, now I realize after the van trip, when we came back, then I realized that he decided to go is not because he also wants to go, but I also think he also scared that if he don't go with me, I will go myself. So he didn't want that. Yeah. So very sweet he sacrificed, and then he quit and then we left together. But after that, it's good to have people like him, because I'm that kind, right? I don't know money, don't know finance, don't know about car, don't know about anything, then just want to go on the trip and play. He always tell me that you only want to play. Huh? Buy what car, what van, what CC also you don't know. Huh? How much to save, you also don't know. Yeah, so he did all that. Thank you.
Right.
Mm.
So like it seems like walking on an unlikely path. You need someone to go and like take the lead and bash the way, but then you also need someone to kind of like follow up and support and make sure that nothing goes wrong.
But yeah. Yellow.
So maybe let's take a pause here for a moment and see whether any folks want to ask Jacinda any questions.
How you know people ask?
The moderators will be
other-
monitoring both
Oh,
Clubhouse and YouTube and
Cool.
Zoom.
Cool. They got no
Sean,
question.
can you hear
Oh,
Yoshan?
my voice is slower, right?
Hold on. Grace, are you talking via Zoom or Clubhouse?
Yeah. Can you hear Yoshan?
We can only hear you via Clubhouse.
Oh,
Give us a second, all right?
Oh, very hot, eh?
Yeah, very hot, huh?
Are you feeling hot? Can I turn on the fan?
Yes, please. Okay, hey Grace. I'm on Zoom now.
yeah. I think maybe we can disconnect from Zoom because it keeps being intermittent on Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that so?
Yep. Maybe let's. I mean, no, wait. Sorry. Let's disconnect from Clubhouse. It keeps being intermittent on Clubhouse. We
Okay,
can
I'll
continue.
stay on Zoom then.
Yeah. Okay. Yoshan, you're saying?
Okay, I was saying, yeah, there's a question on YouTube. This person is asking, do you experience post-travel blues trying to feed back to life in Singapore and feeling a disconnection with people around at Jacinda?
When we first came back, we didn't realize the gravity of COVID because when we first came back, it was only China who got it. And so we're still trying to find a way to change the route. We thought oh, never mind we ship the van to Europe, then we drive back down the other way lah. And then the next country that kena was Italy. Yeah, then after that we thought okay, never mind. Then we ship the van to Japan, one island on its own, right? Then we just explore there lah, no choice, right? And then after Japan also kena. Then after that the whole world got it, right? And then for me, I just thought okay lah, since the universe wants to play this kind of trick, I mean, since this happened, then okay lor, stay at home and then wait lah. We wait it out lah. So we thought maybe it's gonna be a 2 months, 3 months kind of thing, So at that time, during that 2-3 months, I didn't really I adapt really well. I just thought oh, okay lah, come back Singapore, have a break, just hang out with my family and my friends and everything, and then experience this weird phenomenon that's going on, like lockdown and everything. Yeah. So then when we realized that it's permanent, I started to think about, oh my god, Singapore, and then I got no income at all, and then a little bit more stability, a bit more stable income. And then I started thinking about what I can do. And that's when I thought about the Breakfast Club. So actually before the van trip, I already started the breakfast.
So Just try this change diet thing, and then I changed, and then I healed from everything within a month. And I was like, wow, what is this, man? People saw, and then they came to me and said wow, what do you do? Then they said, oh, can I pay you some money? You do the exact same meals for me. That's how it started. So it wasn't from the trip that you got inspired to be vegan. It was actually something different. Yeah.
Yeah, before I was already vegan. And then so we started making meals for people, but it was like very small, like, you know, like people like tell their friends, tell their colleagues and everything. And that time don't even have Instagram page or nothing, you know, people just WhatsApp me and then they say like, hey, enough, I don't want to be your ambassador, I don't have to keep telling people about your business. Can you start like some Instagram or Facebook page so that you can explain what you're doing there? So then I started. So then I thought like, hey, what to call my business? And then back then, I wasn't a business like what to call this group of people who are like joining me on this journey, you know. And back then I was giving them like food for breakfast only. So then I thought like, okay lah, this is my breakfast club. And also I like the movie. It's a lot of conversations, right? The movie, like heartfelt, true, honest conversations. Yeah. So then I thought like, good name, you know. So that's how it started. And then they all knew lah that eventually I'll be taking a break to leave for the van trip. So then on the van trip, we visited like, so we're already vegans, right? So on the van trip, we visited like so many vegan cafes along the way. And in Malaysia, in Thailand, and Cambodia, oh my God, so many, even in the kampongs. Like even in the rural area also have. So it was amazing.
A cafe in the kampong.
Yes, crazy. And it's the same values, you know, like organic, local, farm to table. They try to grow everything themselves, you know, and then they try to like, so many of them, and they were home-based. So I met this cafe owner, this really young girl, 20 something, in Thailand, in this area called Mae Hong Son. So like, see, nobody even know, right? You know, we just Google map like vegan when we were in that region, and then we saw like, oh, Little Good Things Cafe. And it's vegan. So we went there, and then like there were so many other like foreigners were there also, really good vibe. And I talked to her, you know, she cooked everything herself and with her mom and everything. And it was in her home, you know, in her home. And then I was like, hey, how many days a week are you open? Like when do you take a break? You know, you say, oh, I work 6 months and the other 6 months I'm closed. I go and travel. So I was like that also can. Then she's like, yeah, I'm the boss. What? Then that like opened my mind. I was like, oh, you know, business not like, you don't have to think about it like one way only, like, oh, you must open 24 hours, then can, you know, as long as it means something to you and you work at your own time and own pace, ask you to like, you don't owe anybody anything. That's when I thought, okay, when finish the trip, I will start my own, you know, vegan home-based cafe in another part of the world. I didn't think it would be Singapore. So while we were traveling, we were also looking out for space, other places to settle down for a while. Like we thought, okay, we can buy land or buy a house or rent a house there, and then we live in somewhere our favorite country lah. So after we travel, right, we'll know, oh, which one is, you know, most suitable for us. Then we will live there after the trip. Yeah, of course that didn't happen. And so when we came back to Singapore, then we thought, okay lah, then we do now lor. Yeah, when we found this place, when we realized that, oh shit, this is permanent. There's nowhere we can go. I was still living, Martin and I, we were living in my parents' house, like everybody squeezed together. And when we realized, oh, this is permanent, then we thought, okay, we need to go and find somewhere to stay, right? And then that's where we found this house. Then we saw, hey, so nice. Okay lah. Then we start. Oh, then with the breakfast club, right? Then I let people come into my house to eat also, right? So then I built a new community myself. And so I never disconnect with, you know, other people. I managed to like still have people, a lot of connection here. You know, we could have the ability to pass on the love and share these stories and inspire other people. So yeah.
So there's a direct line between the love that the Thai person showed you
Yes.
and the atmosphere or the feeling that you're creating in this place today.
So when we had to, when we realized when we have to come back, then we thought like, okay the best thing that we can do now is to show the love, pass on the love that we experience in these countries back to Singapore, because I feel that honestly, we are one of the countries that really need this most, to be shown this kind of love, because we don't know it at all. Kampong, they already know lah. Everybody's like that, what? Friendly, helpful. Right here, it's like we need to open, you know, other people's minds lah. Because like how they open our mind, we wanted to share these stories and make our own people realize that, hey, you can be nice to your neighbor also. So yeah, Sean is my neighbor.
Yeah, actually I live like 3 floors above.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic coincidence.
I know, right?
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it was a direct, line of how it is shaping the Breakfast Club. Mm.
Do you have any questions for our community? Do you have any things that you'd like to ask me or any other folks?
Wow, you catch me off guard leh.
A bit too sudden.
Yeah, a bit. I will think about it. um, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sean? Yeah, actually, Joshua over here in the Zoom call, she has a question. I think she can unmute herself to ask the question.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to ask, like, do you have any plans to like resume the trip if like COVID allows it? Like there's no more travel restrictions. Will you continue on the trip?
I don't know because transitioning is so difficult. Transitioning from Singapore city life to van life was hard. We took like really long to adapt. Martin and I we fight, because getting used to this new lifestyle and then sleeping in a van 24/7 facing each other. And then like getting used to the new like slow pace. And then after we had to come back, right? And then getting used to the fast pace. So I think if it opens up like within the next few months, I would say no, I'm not ready for that transition yet because I know it's really like that mental strength that you need is a lot leh. I think I will take the plane first. Not yet. Yeah, I'm not ready yet. Maybe 2 years later you ask me, yeah, maybe yes. But I very crazy one. Maybe 6 months later I will say yes also. I don't know. Never know.
Since you're talking about community and love here, right? Like, can you share any stories or instances when the people here met because of you and something happened, something became of it?
Oh, like for our meals, right? We try to get them from the local organic farms in Kranji area, and then also I get my dad to grow some stuff for us.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he rented this plot in N Parks nearby his house lah. So we get a big we get a box like a planter box, right? It's not that big lah, honestly. So like he grow lah, but limited, right? Then I was telling this story to this customer who came, and she was just here for a casual lunch, and I don't know her, she don't know me, and then I was just sharing like, oh yeah, my dad grows for us also. He grows it in this N Parks lah. And then she was like, oh, you know what? I have a big garden. I live alone. Let me do something. I'm gonna get my gardener to clear half of the garden so that your dad can grow things. Yeah. And very quickly, like within 1 week, they met each other. And then he was like going there to like use her, at her house, and they're like farming together, harvesting together. So that's quite amazing. She's super nice, super nice. I met her for the first time only. She already offer. Yeah, and just nice, she lives near my dad. Crazy, right? So like, yeah. Super cool. Yeah. So yeah, it's still happening now.
Yeah. It always seems like, someone has to show something first, and then someone else sees that the possibilities expand, and then one thing leads to another, more and more people start to do it.
Yeah, they realize like you don't know what you don't know, right? Then when you see this kind of thing happen, then like, oh, there's this possibility. Then maybe you don't want to do it now, but maybe sometime down the road you will think that, oh yeah, I've seen this before, I can do it too. Or like for me, right? One day I was like, oh, I want to paint this like beautiful sun in my house. So you see the image in my dining room. Yeah, and I just try to figure out like, how am I going to paint this? I don't really know about painting. I'm suck at that and blah blah blah. So I decided to ask on the Breakfast Club Instagram, like, hey guys, I want to paint my room like that. I saw this picture on Pinterest, and like, I don't know, can somebody give me advice or help? So 2 volunteers came forward and said, yeah, I help you, and they are like professional mural painters some more. Like government hire them to paint the building kind of.
So they're like artists, is it? Like
Yeah, and then I'm like, huh? Then this one too look already because I asked them to paint one sun only. Nothing complicated. But yeah, they came and I'm so grateful. Like that was the first time I actually thought, you know what? At first, my thought process to paint this thing was, should I hire a painter? Where should I get the paint? What paint should I get? What color and everything? And then then I remember like how in Malaysia, right? Some of these vegan home-based cafe, they use a lot of their own friends and network and volunteers. And then I thought, okay, let's try. So then that was the first time I posted and I saw the power of community, and then they came and I was like, oh wow.
what do you think is it that draws people to you, to this community?
I don't know. I think maybe the possibility that they contribute or learn something or experience something other than what we know as life typically in Singapore. I think I mean, at first I felt really bad like, well, how can you ask people come and help you do for free? And then people started telling me like, don't feel bad. They want one. They want this opportunity. Because like if not, then they got nowhere else to do this. I don't know. Yeah, people started telling me that. They're like, it makes them feel good. They would not do it because it makes them feel lousy and they just want to help you. It makes them feel good about themselves too, you know? So don't so it's nice that you open up and let people help you lah. So that's one thing I realized about city people in general. Like we are being told not to ask for help. Like, you know, settle yourself. Don't disturb other people. Right? Don't like your house not enough pepper and salt, right? Last time you hear before, right? Kampong, then you go to the neighbor's house and borrow, right? But here you don't do it at all. Right? Don't ask for help, don't disturb. You know, like problem lah, you know. And that kind of make us distance ourselves from the people around us. Just stop asking for help, right? Stop sharing stories with them even. So I think I guess knowing that you dare to ask for help for me means next time if I need help, I can ask you. So yeah, so then maybe that's what people are drawn to. I don't know.
It sounds like city folk are afraid of imposing or afraid of bothering. But
What? Yeah, I don't know. That's what we're taught, right? Like, don't disturb lah. You know. She fall down. Somebody will help her lah. You don't go and kipo lah. You know, yeah, something like that.
so you had to go on this journey, right, to change yourself, to change your perspectives of what human to human interaction should be.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the biggest realization for me was I was watching this movie. I don't know if you know. I think it's not a very popular movie, but it's called Pleasantville. Okay, and it's about this. Guy who loves to watch this program every day, like 真情 like that. You know, many episodes, 6 p.m. And then like so in this show, it's the show is showing about this like town, a small town called Pleasantville in the US. And it's a perfect town. Beautiful terrace houses, all the same uniform look one, you know. Then the trees never wither, everybody's plants beautiful, every day flowers bloom, every day people go to school and go to work on time, people never break up. It was happy every day. Your husband came back from work every day at the same time, dinner was ready. And it was like this every day. And this boy in the real world, right? He was watching this program and he really loved it because he lived in a very chaotic family. And so he wished like his life was like that. And one day, don't know how he ended up going inside the TV and he landed himself in Pleasantville. And in Pleasantville, nobody questioned it. So he was very curious because he come from the real world, right? He was like, hey, you all ever travel outside of Pleasantville? Nobody goes. Then they'll be like, nobody goes anywhere outside of Pleasantville. This place is the best. No need to question. He said, what is at the end of the road of Pleasantville? Do you know? No, we never question that. We don't question. It's the best. No need to ask. You know, So like everything was just perfect, like manicured, and like nobody thinks more, question anything, question themselves. And then he started like introducing all these like so he was a student, so he went to school with them. He started teaching them how to rebel against teachers, how to don't do homework and everything. So this show is a black and white film, show, right? And then he started teaching people how to rebel. People started to kiss at the park. You know, students, they go there and kiss at the park. So I never ever did that. They never even know like how people get babies. Nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody kissed. Everybody just like, you know, very proper. And he started teaching people to do that. And then suddenly these people who changed, right? They started becoming colored. You know, and then they experience life in although it's more chaotic, but then they have more emotions. They feel more. They feel sad. They feel happy. And I suddenly watched halfway and then like, fuck, this is Singapore, man. For me lah, I was like, every day is perfect. Got perfect bus, perfect train, perfect everything. You know, everything works perfectly. You don't need to. Then don't ask so much. People will ask you, hey, why like that? Why like that? Like, you know, when I ask, hey, why the government say this? Or why the system like that? Why? Don't ask so much lah. This is the best. It just works this way. That was what I was being told all the time. That was what I was experiencing. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, I'm living in Pleasantville. I cannot. I need to go and find out what's outside Pleasantville. I need to learn more because you see, like them and that was stuck in their little Pleasantville. That's all they know. So I think, okay, I must go outside and learn. I don't know what I will learn lah, but I just think I must go outside and learn.
What do you think the black and white people were missing, in your own opinion?
Awareness. That's what I was lacking last time. Awareness. Like you don't know, you don't know what is happiness or
Self-awareness?
self-awareness. Self-awareness.
So I think many folks who are listening to this maybe also want to take this journey, right? To figure out themselves. Maybe the question is on their minds, like, do I have to go on this like 1 year road trip? Or is there something else that I can do in a smaller way, in an easier way, you know, to begin this path?
Yeah, I mean, for us, our journey, right, on Instagram, it was never to like inspire other people to go on a van also. It's more like maybe when you are traveling or even within Singapore, right, you can I think like the common lesson for the people who even send me lots of like messages on Instagram were like, oh, you gave me the courage to quit what I don't love doing and to pursue something that I want to. Yeah. So yeah. So I would say it doesn't have to be a trip lah. You just try. I would say at this point in time, right, you really never know, right? Tomorrow can die when I can die too. And so don't wonder lor, like if you think like I've been wanting to learn cooking or baking for a long time. Just go and learn lah. You fail lah. Then you realize, you know, that whether you are cut out for it or you like it or not. Yeah, never try, never know.
But I think like maybe you made it seem a little bit like, oh, you just decided, right? And then one day
Like, oh, lost and year. I would say depression. I'm not sure so whether it's the right word or not. But just like feel like I would say depression. Like actually now I think about it, like there was climb back up. And I've traveling, right, and knowing other folks like taking the alternative life path, right? That is also their common journey. Like first you question yourself, no answer, feel like shit. You feel like shit somehow, like feel, you know. Then after that they rise again. Yeah, so most common, stories like that.
I think that's fascinating because what you're doing is that you are saying that there is a map to this journey, to this path. And the map goes down into the valley first. And it's part of the journey. You can't skip it. You can't just like jump from the one mountain top to another mountain top. You have to go down first before you can go up again.
Correct. But not for all, because having this place, right, I talk to so many people. There are people who like when they just naturally like walk. Like they know like we take life so seriously. No, those people, or like from a younger age, okay lah, maybe they went through trauma when they were young to realize this also. I'm not sure, but like there are some people who just know that life got up and down lah, you know, don't need to plan so much, think so much, worry so much, and they are more open to like um the unknown, you know, not fearing the unknown. So I've seen people who are like that, so it just seem like they are like la 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 la, they didn't have to go down, seem like that lah. So everybody's life journey different lah. Some people don't need to go down one.
I think if you weren't so like upfront about your life and some of the things you post on Facebook or Instagram, people might also think, wow, I mean, you're so awesome, you know, like you know, you got it all figured out in some ways and you're so brave and everything.
Stupid, because never think ma. Don't know lah, will die or not? Don't know lah. Will have no money when you come back or not? Don't know lah, go lah. Go already then say. Yeah, that's my style.
Okay, let us pause here for a moment. Any questions from the audience?
Ask me anything. This is the YouTube, right? So it's a bit like
I can ask one question on that someone is asking on YouTube. She's asking what's the sign behind you, like right above you. She can't on our image. It's a bit cut off, and maybe like what it means or like yeah.
No meaning.
Oh,
What?
okay.
See?
Yeah, now you can see. Oh. So you did it yourself?
No. So it's a customer turned friend who brought the sign here for another customer who wanted to celebrate a birthday here. That friend hates birthdays. So she thought like she will not bring a happy birthday sign, she'll bring a best fucking day ever sign. And then she asked me like, hey, this sign very suitable for your house. You want to keep it here? I was like, yeah. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. I hope the YouTube audience was able to catch it. It's a bit laggy there, but they'll slowly catch it. Yeah. Anyone else on Zoom has any questions? Like you can either type it in the chat or just unmute yourself. And yeah, just ask away. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So they replied and said it's good philosophy on on YouTube.
Thank you. I'm not philosopher. Martin always say, don't kurang ajar. I think you very clever. Teach people, tell people. No, I just share my story only. I never teach you anything. I never act like I'm very smart. I'm sorry if it looks like this way.
We want to ask you, right? Like, so I've been kind of following the Breakfast Club, and every time I see you're actually trying out different things, you know, different menu items, you know, you are being quite creative about everything. Can you let us in a little bit into the creative process that you have and what it means to you?
I think for me is because I turned vegan, right? Then there are a lot of like the familiar dishes that you can't enjoy that you used to have. So based on my personal preference and what I miss, right, then I will try to recreate that with plants lah, with vegetables like mushroom or eggplant or whatever lah. Yeah, so that I can enjoy the experience. And I realized like actually right, the essence is not the meat, guys. I'm not preaching again. It's the sauce. Because I tried. So a lot of these recipes and things are like when we were traveling, right? Then we like, visit these places and then they recreate like some, meat dish into vegan. And we're like, wow, tastes like it, yeah. Like, oh my god, in KL we had this char siu was like mind blowing. Like it's not the lousy char siu. They even bother to marinate and smoke it. Like how a regular char siu place will do. So it really, really tastes like it is so good. So then we realized at the end of the day, the essence is also a lot on the sauce. You just use the same sauce on that thing, and then you same process, but different different raw material lah. Like if they use pork, then you use like mushroom or whatever lah, And then we realized, hey, wow, yeah. So then I try I come back and try myself, yeah. And then also I have this like I'm really concerned about organic farming. So organic farming, a lot of people misunderstand. Organic, like, oh, it's a cert. It's not. It's not cert. Organic originally just means it's a way of farming lah, like how you grow your stuff, right? Which was how we have always grown it for like thousands of years until the Industrial Revolution came up, right? So basically, it just means don't grow naturally lah. Don't put chemicals. Don't put pesticides. Because like, I've seen how in Malaysia, crazy, how that has affected the river, right? So you throw pesticides in the plantation and the farms, right? Eventually it will seep into your rivers, right? It will flow into your rivers, right? And then, so now our water all got pesticide content inside, super high chemical content. And that includes Singapore's water because we get from there as well. So we actually managed to talk to like the PUB of Malaysia. Yeah, we just somehow met them. And they share with us like, oh, they tell us which is the spring that Singapore get from. And the spring that we originally got from drying up already. So we stopped getting from there and we got to a new spring. So seriously, it's quite a serious problem just that we don't know. And like, yeah, so then to me, then this becomes very important. So I learned a lot about so I went to explore about like organic farming, traditional organic farming. And so even on the van trip along the way, we visited like so many organic farms. They let us like park their van there, sleep with them, then see how they farm together. Super cute. And so a lot of my recipes are also based on what can be grown locally, traditionally. So if you don't want to use a lot of chemicals and pesticides, right, you have to grow vegetables that are suitable for this soil and climate. If you always try to grow broccoli, okay, not possible. But if you try to grow like those angmo vegetables, then you will need to take a lot more of these artificial things because you're trying to grow them in a place in a region where it's not suitable. Yeah. So if you grow things that are very easy, like suitable to grow here, suited to grow here, then you don't need to use much effort. Yeah, they just grow. So you don't need to use any of these things. So then I try to use my dishes. I try to incorporate like a lot of these local produce.
Yeah, like the blue pea flower. Yeah, those just like weeds, right?
Exactly. For us, and then do like a version of a nasi ulam. I get them from the local. It's called Green Circle. In Kranji area, also owned by this couple, hippie couple. They're like 70 already. They're still farming. And this farm has been in Singapore for like 20 years, and like she's 70 plus, right? The farmer, and she still can yoga every day.
Is that so? Like, what's the name of this farm?
Green Circle Eco Farm. She meditates, hippie lah. Then 20 years ago, they decided to buy that piece of land and organic farm. So must support because they also go. They also took the alternative lifestyle. Like back then, 20 years ago, wow, who know what is organic, and then tendering for that land, not cheap also. They had to quit their jobs and then start like on a brand new barren land, So I thought like, through the Breakfast Club, I would like to raise awareness about the existence of these farms, even in Singapore, because people don't even know it's right there. 20 years of organic soil. Amazing produce, yeah.
It's like there's actually so many people who are trying to do alternative so-called things, and it's only alternative because within their own circles they're like the only ones doing it. But in a way, like, this place is the community for all of these folks, right?
Yeah, actually got a lot like, yeah, but like just within our circle, yeah, like the one or the few, yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think this is something that's worth doing, right? Because if you're just alone doing your own so-called alternative thing, it can feel quite hard. But if you're together, then it's not alternative anymore, right?
Yeah. True, yeah. I hope one day it will not be alternative, like serious. Like everyone living their dream is not alternative lifestyle. Guys, this should be the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking back, maybe let's say 2-3 years, or maybe even 4 years, right? That Jacinda back then, if she could see the Jacinda today, what would the Jacinda back then say?
Wow. um. Wow. I think now I'm not so rash. She'll say like, "Wow, you not so hot-tempered, Wow, not so rash, A bit more calm, a bit more giving, a bit more, not a bit, a lot more." I think COVID really forced me to confront a lot of my problems, like all the flaws that I used to have. I never realized. Like how if you feel stressed or you feel like things don't go your way, right? You just like escape lah. Like book a ticket, go somewhere, distract yourself. Then I realized like then you never ever solve the problem. Yeah. So I think COVID made me confront my biggest fears, like, oh, why am I upset with this? Why are people upset with me? And then yeah. So I think looking back, yeah, I would say not so rash, not so impulsive, a bit more understanding. Yeah. Last time I want to do what I just do.
So it wasn't just the van trip. The van trip was just kind of like opening the door. And then after this, there's still a lot more, a lot further to go, a lot more things that you have to figure out or to overcome.
Yeah, even with this new like business thing, it's gotten bigger than what I would think like it would be.
So it's not like a
Yeah, no. So it's gotten bigger than what I thought it would be, and I'm learning how to be, I don't know, like a business owner, and that's hard too. That's so hard because like, yeah, I want to 6 months off, 6 months on.
That's kind of the dream, isn't it? Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, but yeah, lor. But like now, for now, I think in the early part of the business, like so many things need to be figured out. Anyway, I cannot go anywhere also lah. Yeah. So but not so much about that. It's really about like learning how to deal with uncertainty. Like if you are employee, right? You get your pay every month lah. Right? With business, right? Wow, this week so many people, next week nobody. It's like up and down, up and down. Like how you walk into certain restaurants, you're like, this week's like, wow, full, got a queue. Next week's like, nobody leh. So I'm learning how to, wow, yeah, this is my biggest lesson now. Learning how to surrender to like these like results that you want. Like, oh, I set my target, this week I need to have this. Then you thought you can be like consistent, but like, oh my god, no. Even if you do at the best you can and try to push for sales or whatever, it doesn't mean it will happen one what. Yeah, you can never know one. So I think now I'm learning how to like, okay lor, to have lor. Yeah. Take it as a chance to work on something else. Something like that. Yeah, that's my thing that I'm learning now. Yeah, it was hard. Really, initially it was super hard. Super hard. You will blame yourself like, wow, why this week the sales go down? Is it because I didn't do something? Right? Is it because I didn't this, I didn't that? You start to question yourself like, wow, you're wrong. You're doing something really not good enough. Then next week suddenly up again. Then you never change any formula, what? You know? So going through like so many months of that, and like, wow, emotional, like roller coaster leh. Like, wow, I feel so good. Then next week, like, feel like shit. Then up, down. Then after, I like, give up lah. Okay lah, whatever lah. People buy, don't buy, don't buy lah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a good lesson to learn. I mean, of course, I know businesses who are like steadily up, or steadily like consistent. But I feel like again, I say universe or whoever lah, like throw me this lesson because I cannot accept like that things don't go the way I want it to be. So they throw me this lesson to like, good. Then you see, you learn. You have to use this lesson to learn. So yeah.
So it was really just what was going on through your mind, right? It's like no matter what I think or how I feel or how I react, things are just going to happen anyway, good or bad.
Like, oh, you can feel like you sacrifice a lot, you quit your job there, then you go on a trip there, you living the dream there, you say one right, must live your dream right. And then COVID. Cannot control one lah. You know, you just like, I would say right, roughly have a dream. Yeah. Don't too stubborn also. Must be flexible also. Roughly lah, you have a dream, huh? But the how and the way to get there, or dream can change also one. Cause, right? Like COVID is a clear example, and I think it's very fair because like you level the playing field, you know, everybody is in this same situation. Because I understand also there are people who are like, I quit my job, I live the dream, you know, and then tomorrow cancel. Then how? Then you will think like, wow, life is so unfair to me. Right? I mean, I would think like that also lah. But I guess with this COVID, then you know, you have to learn. Sometimes shit happens, so got to roll with it, I guess. I thought, when it happens, then I don't know. I have to learn also.
I think that's a fantastic point that your dream can actually change as well. So you don't have to hold on so tightly to it.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't have to like pin your success, your failure, your life on exactly that dream. Because actually this dream that you're living today, you didn't plan for it, right?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, then maybe we don't use the word dream. I don't know. Maybe we just use like I think I had to learn, and I'm still learning how to like change my perspective on like to live life like every day. Right? Like today, if you want to take a nap at 5 o'clock, right? Just take the nap lah. Okay? Fuck lah. Yeah, tomorrow you might die, but just take the nap. Okay? If today you want to work really hard to work until 3 a.m. in the morning, just do it lah. I'll say live moment to moment lah. Okay? Don't think so much already.
Yoshan?
Yep. So someone is asking on YouTube, how do you deal with stresses now as compared to the past?
Last time I would be super stressed out, worry, and then imagine the scenario when haven't even happened yet. And now I have to keep reminding myself, surrender, or like go with the flow. Okay, like, you know, if this week you plan for this and cannot happen, okay, there is not time yet.
I think you got stuck for a bit.
Stress. Okay, how do I deal with stress now as compared to overthinking is a killer. Come on, everybody, right? Like you will think like, oh, if I quit my job, this will happen. Will disown me, my friends will not love me, I will die, I will this, like anyhow like we just think like imagine like the entire like 祖宗十八代 everybody how they will love you or how they will hate you, you know.
All your ancestors.
All the ancestors come out from their grave and say like, what are you doing? You know, no. Yeah, last time I used to do that. And then you weren't there lor. Then now I tell myself to surrender, like whatever happens, then we go with the flow, be like water. Yeah. And if it's not meant to be, means or it's not time yet, then we will change path lah. Like, doesn't mean everything go according to plan one. Like, you don't know if anybody's life is like that. 100% like you plan, like my sales target this month is like that. What? Moving forward 50 years of your business, every month your target should hit. I mean, not possible, right? So, I think gotta go with the flow. Yeah.
You're talking about stuff that happens to you, but how about mistakes that you make? Is it also the same or different? How do you deal with those?
That one I still learning. That one still like I think the hardest is to forgive yourself, right? Yeah, I think that's the hardest. To forgive other people easier. Forgive yourself is the hardest. So I have to learn. Oh yeah, and this year I also learned this thing, self-love. Never knew I didn't have that. Never knew. I depended a lot of how I feel about myself externally. Like, people tell you you're good, right? Then, oh yeah, I good. People tell you no good. Yeah, I know good, I know good. I really believe 100% what people say. I wouldn't say like, yeah, that's her opinion, I'm good. I don't have that at all. Until like a friend, I tell my friend like all this, I told my friend about all these worries that I had, these concerns and these like things that I always think about. And then she tell me, say like, hey, what's wrong with you? Self-love. People tell you this, you just believe. People tell you you're shit, man. Then I like, oh yeah, what's wrong with me? Then I started to think, then I was like, what's self-love? This is what? Then I started to like Google it, research more, explore, and like dive deeper within and understand that. So now I'm learning how to love myself. So like make mistake, right? Never mind. It's okay. Because that's what I would have told my friends and family, right? If you make mistakes, like, okay lah, over already, right? You learn from it and move on, right? You're a better person. But I'll never tell myself that. Exactly.
Hold yourself to understand.
Exactly, right? And then you will like be more critical. So now I need to learn how to tell myself that. Even like she tell me, say, okay, your homework is you're gonna write letters, love letters to yourself. Oh, she made me do that. And I was like, whoa, so I really write. And it really helped. Really, really helped me. Because like you never ever praise yourself before, what? Now suddenly having to force to think about what you think are the good points about yourself. Then you suddenly like your perspective shift and like, oh yeah, 我这个人不错的. I'm not too bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great takeaway. You started out with love from strangers, and then we ended up in a place where it's about self-love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need both. Like especially with the business also, like people always praise you, compliment you, right? I never believe one. I would just think, people just say only. Because you don't believe in yourself, what? Yeah, so now people praise me, I must learn how to say, okay, I accept. Thank you. I accept your compliment. I am great. That's a bit like, no. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a great mindset for us to have wherever we go, whatever we do. So we are now at like 9:30. Just want to make sure, are there any other questions that we didn't cover?
I think this is just a comment on YouTube. Someone is saying the same person who asked the question previously was saying how she loved your sharing and how honest and unfiltered you are. So yeah.
Yeah, unfiltered. Yeah.
Yeah. My style.
Yeah, anyone on Zoom has anything like maybe comments, not even questions, feel free to type in the chat or unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think can ask me anything. I'm generally very unfiltered. And I think nothing to hide lah. must share lor. So then I hope you don't hide things from people around you. So you just share lah. Because I also know a lot of people, they feel like if they share, then they reveal their weakness. Then they don't want to share. I used to be like that actually. Only when drunk, then wow, all the things start coming out. Right. Like, well, I decided I feel so sad about it. And then tomorrow morning regret. What the hell did I tell that stranger for? You know?
Right.
But now I think if I share, then even like customers I meet for the first time, right? Then suddenly they will tell me their problems also. Like them, they really open about it and like tell me, yeah. Then in the end, both of us can learn from each other. Like, oh, how did you overcome that problem that you're facing, and how did I overcome? So I felt like, actually sharing more helpful than keeping inside. Yeah.
So let me try to just kind of wrap this up since I guess there are no more other questions. I think traveling helped you to open up, by seeing the examples of all these strangers in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Malaysia and everything, and then you brought this spirit back with you. And you are still kind of traveling in some ways, right? But not physically anymore. Yeah, but with the people that you meet, you kind of like keep having this spirit of openness.
Even like now, like I'm traveling, right? Like meeting you, meeting them. Yeah, like every day meeting new people. Even though I cannot go out or cannot meet people physically. Yeah, it's amazing.
And even if you only have like 1 week to go overseas or 1 week to do something, maybe if you have that same spirit of openness, then more things can happen for you lah. And you'll never know what happens for you, right? Just be open and surrender and enjoy the ride, I guess.
Oh, correct. That's right. This life.
All right. Then thanks everyone. Thanks, Jacinda. It was awesome. No, it was you were just so engaging and you're so open. Thanks so much.
Thank you too. You're so like, right? You make me feel so comfortable, and you set the tone like really nice and like relaxed. Yeah, so the things like what to say is flowing, like the conversation is flowing really well because it's so comfortable. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Any last things by Yoshan or Grace? If not,
Thanks, Yushan and Grace also.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
everyone for joining. I think Yoshan shared a link for a survey, so we just want to help get your feedback so we can improve our future sessions. And yeah, just stay tuned to what we have upcoming on. You can follow us on Instagram at Stranger Convo. Thanks again, everyone. Yeah, and thanks Jacinda for having the chat with us. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks everyone for coming. I shared my screen for the QR code for the survey, or you can access it through the tiny URL link as well. Yeah, was thinking if the participants in the call, if you guys are open to have a group photo, you can like turn on your cam, or we can give you like maybe 10-15 seconds to like get ready. If you are comfortable, feel free to turn on your cam and we can take a group photo at the end. Yep. Yeah, we just count down. Or yeah, feel free to like type anything in the chat as well. Okay, if you're ready, can turn on your cam. Yay, we see one person. Anyone else?
Last call.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop sharing first. Those people on YouTube, it's okay. We know that you guys are watching, but those people on Zoom, yeah, we'll take a quick photo shoot now. Okay, it's okay.
5 of us.
Cool.
Okay lah.
3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.